Hey y'all, this is Victor Haskins, and we're going to talk today about articulation, how to do it. So, first of all, there are three different kinds of articulation that you can do. There's single tonguing, there's K-tonguing, which is another form of single tonguing, and then there's double tonguing. First, your single tonguing, and your main weapon in terms of articulation is the tip of your tongue, right? Right there. T-t-t-t-t. That's your single tonguing articulation. T-style articulation. So when we articulate, we need to think of our tongue much like a boxer might jab. Ta, ba, quick, right? Ta, 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 right? So when you jab, hit and brings back, right? You're not actually leaving your fist out there, okay, when you jab. Same thing when you're tonguing. You tongue, the tip of your tongue is going to strike right where the roof of your mouth and the back of your top teeth meet, right? That right there is where you want your tongue to strike generally. Of course, you might tongue in different areas within your mouth for different kinds of effects, but your main boilerplate tonguing that you'll use is striking right where the roof of your mouth meets the back of your upper teeth. Ta, 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 ta. Just hits and retracts. You don't just leave it up there, okay? Another way to imagine the way the tongue should work is if you turn on a water faucet, the water is just flowing, and the articulation, like the tip of your tongue, is like you took a knife and sliced it through that running water. So it's going and so you're chopping it, but the water is still flowing. Just like if I'm blowing the air, right? The air is the water. That's the analogy. The water is the air. If I'm blowing air, I've turned the faucet on, and my tongue is like that knife going. You can hear I'm going. I'm tonguing and chopping the air, but the air is still flowing. So make sure the air is still flowing. Here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to take like the faucet and you're turning the faucet on and off. You don't want to go right? That's not keeping the water flowing. Similarly, you don't want to stop the air between notes that you're articulating. You don't want to go. You hear how the air stops between? Don't do that. Blow the air, one continuous flow, and then use the tongue to just chop the air. Okay? So that's how you articulate. Now, we're going to do some different exercises that you can get through my website if you follow the link down below. There's a link to the educational page on my website where you can download a warm-up document that has these exact exercises in there. And so our first basic exercise is tonguing on one note. So we're going to do T-tonguing on a single note. We're going to play half notes. We're going to play quarter notes. We're going to play eighth notes. And then we're going to play a whole note to end it, okay? So the key is to do it slowly enough to where we have control of it and it's clear. Our articulation is clear and immediate, right? Don't rush, don't drag, don't try to finesse it. Have complete control, and your tone quality should also be good. So don't let the tone quality slide just because you're working on your articulation, right? We're working to juggle all these different facets of playing a brass instrument. So here we go. Playing on a concert F, my G, if you want to follow along. So we're going to do it at 60 beats per minute. Here we go. So, as you can hear, very even, very clean articulation. There's no stoppage of the airflow between notes, right? So try to strive for that kind of cleanliness to the fronts of the notes, as well as the continuity of the flow of the air between the notes, okay? So that's exercise number one. Then we can go to a slightly more complex exercise that will get even more complex as we add notes to it. So when we're playing, we're not usually just playing a single note, right? We're playing different notes in different places, okay, which requires the use of different valves, right, in order to get chromatic notes. And so we're going to practice our coordination of our air and our tongue and our fingers, okay? So we're going to add our first valve to this exercise. So now it's going to sound like this, doing the same rhythms, but adding some other melodic content by involving our first valve. once again, very clear, very even, nice strong articulations, nice flow between the notes, right? Don't let the airflow drop off between just because you're changing notes. The air is constant. The only thing that changes is the tongue. Always the air flowing. Let's now add first and second vowel. So have open first and second vowel. Here's our exercise coordinating the tongue, the fingers, and the air. Okay. Now here's one final exercise. There's another one inside that document, but I'm only going to do this last one here. I'll let you figure out the last exercise yourself. But here's the second to last exercise. Going to add 1 and 3. So we're going to have open 1, 1 and 2, and 1 and 3. And there you have it. So there's a variety of exercises to practice your single tonguing. Now, I just talked at the beginning of the video, I said there's 3 different kinds of tonguing. There's single tonguing with a T and single tonguing with a K. So K tonguing is another part of tonguing that will help to improve the stability of your embouchure as well as improve a different kind of tonguing that we'll talk about after this. So, once again, our single tonguing, our most basic way of tonguing is we're using the tip of our tongue and we're going T, 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 okay? Now, K tonguing, as the name implies, we're using the back of the tongue. Now here's what we're going to do. We're not really going to say K. We're really going to do it slightly softer because K is a little bit too jarring. It's not going to give us quite the effect we want. It's going to be a little bit easier to get the right effect if we go G, right? Like a hard G versus a K, okay? Like just say that a couple times. K, 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 K. Kind of very explosive, but G, 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 G. G is going to give us a similar effect without the extra jarring vibe of the K, okay? So here is K tonguing using a G syllable, G, 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 okay? And once again, we want to try to think clear articulation. Just like in our single tonguing where it was very clear, we want our G or our K tonguing to be just as clear. Now, it might not be at first, but our goal is to try to get our G tonguing or K tonguing to be as clear and as smooth as our T tonguing. Tonguing, sorry. So we're going to practice the same exercises with the G tonguing, and I'll tell you a secret about how to improve your G tonguing technique in a second. So here's us just playing on a G, a concert F, single note, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, using K or G. Okay, so G tonguing sounds a little bit different than T tonguing. I mean, of course it's going to. It's a different part of the tongue. But the way we get them to iron out and to be more even is to practice our G tonguing right behind the T tonguing. What do I mean by that? So we're going to use that same exercise, but instead of doing all T's or all G's, we're going to go ta, ta, ga, 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 ta, 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 ga, 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 ta. We're changing whether we're using T or G. Our goal is to get the G's to sound the same as the T's, okay? So listen to this and tell me how close I got. So remember, I'm going to go ta, ta for the half notes, G, 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 G on the quarter notes, and then for the first 4/8 notes, T's, the second 4/8 notes, G's, and then a T on the whole note. Here we go. very close, I will leave it up to you guys in your ears. But that's what we're trying to do, is get our g tonguing to be equivalent to our t tonguing, okay? And the more we practice our g, our k tonguing, it's going to help to make our embouchure a little bit more stable too. That's the effect I found of having solid k tonguing. And now this brings us to our third kind of tonguing, which is a combination of the t and k single tongues, which make it double tonguing. So instead of going ta 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 or ga 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 ga, we're now going taga 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 taga. You see? So that's now double tonguing. We can go twice as fast, or maybe more than twice as fast, as just single tongue, whether it's the T tongue or k tongue, okay? And there are passages of music where we'll need double tonguing, or very related triple tonguing. But let's just talk about how we work on double tonguing. We're going to use these same exercises, but instead of just having our T's together or our G's together in terms of t tonguing or g tonguing, we're now going to alternate T's and G's, t's and g's, okay? So I'm going to do the same exercise on the G. I'm going to go ta ga 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 ta. Let's do that now. Once again, doing it slowly at 60. Double tonguing can go faster, but it shouldn't go faster until we've earned that level of speed, okay? And the only way we get that level of speed is by mastering it slowly. So always start slowly. Once again, 60 beats per minute, same exercise. Alternating t and g tonguing. Okay, so that was pretty close in terms of how those articulations sound. Let's speed it up a little bit to hear what it sounds like faster, since it's even as slow. Now, obviously, you're not going to do this, but just to give you an example of what it sounds like a little faster. The same exercise, twice as fast. Okay, and obviously that could go faster and faster and faster. But the point is, take your time to make your tonguing and your articulation very clear and very controlled. And once again, take your time and go slowly. Don't finesse it, right? If you can master it slowly, your progress is going to stack, and you're going to keep getting better and better at a very predictable rate. But if you try to finesse it and try to go too fast too soon, you're not going to develop the coordination, and that coordination will not stack, and everything will be a struggle. So the key is go slow, master your T single tonguing, master your K single tonguing, and then put them next to each other and get them to be even. And if you can do that, you're going to be on the right path to developing really solid technique. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope that was a good explanation of tonguing for you. If you have questions, put them in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.